Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily on this cold Friday morning edition, December the 23rd. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. I know a lot of folks working today, and then we'll be enjoying a long extended weekend with the fam, and hope everybody has a good one out there. Tommy Chrisant joining us from a busy Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. People getting their last minute Christmas shopping in. They'll be closed at 1 o'clock tomorrow, but before then, lots of great sides and meat and all kinds of other things over there that Mike Tremonti and the gang can help you out with. TK, a couple things to get to. First off, we had a football game last night with an NFL football game. The Jacksonville Jaguars knock off the Jets 19-3. Not a giant significant game unless you were betting it, and I know you and I were both winners. But I think this game proves one thing, Tommy. I think this game, the Jacksonville Jaguars are now 7-8. 7-8 on the season. Trevor Lawrence has come into his own, and this proves that Urban Meyer is just a great coach. He built this thing last year, got it rolling in the right direction. That Urban Meyer, he deserves some credit, Tommy.
No way. You hear the cornerback from Jacksonville last week said, "What's the difference this year?" And he said, "This year we have coaching." One of their players said that.
Right.
I know you're trying to be funny.
Yeah. Well, Peterson, of course, Mr. Louisiana. Former ULM Warhawk, with Indian back when he played, the Northeast when he played. But, obviously won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. And just like everything, if you don't continue winning, they run you out of there. And but he's proven once again what a good coach he is. Jacksonville, they win their next two games. They're going to finish with a winning record. And potentially get into the playoffs. I don't think anybody had that happening before the season. So Jacksonville, a good story, fun to watch. I'm hoping they have success so they stay in Jacksonville and don't become the London Jaguars like everybody kind of expects it's going to happen at some point in the future. The other thing that happened yesterday was we had a football game in college, and Dave Aranda and the gang took it on the chin to the Air Force. People were sleeping on Air Force. You see the big name Baylor. They're 6-6. Everybody remembers Baylor from 2021. They don't realize Baylor was not as good in 2022. Air Force running their little option play, just kind of doing their thing. Everybody's sleeping on them. 10 wins for the Air Force.
Yeah, no, it's things change. And Stephen Miller hit that pick on meatandpotatoesusa.com. Got a bowl game of the day pick posted, meatandpotatoesusa.com. But no, Dave Aranda, he's got to reload. But Ronnie, with the transfer portal and the NIL, and we're going to get into that as Sports Shorts Daily continues today. Rebuilding a college program won't take as long. And the first example would be Colorado. Can Deion Sanders really, bring Colorado back to, getting talked about? Well, they're already getting talked about because they got prime time, but can they get good on the football field? I think, 10 years ago, it would have took 3-4 years. Now you can do it in a year.
Yeah, no question. And look, it's look at it like this. Yesterday or a couple of days ago was signing day for LSU, and for the nation. A year ago, what were we talking about, Tommy? We were talking about Texas A&M. We were talking about Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M #1 recruiting class. We were talking about Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher's beef with some comments and things. And a year later, Texas A&M who? They weren't even relevant this year per se. And Jimbo Fisher had some comments yesterday, which is just mind-blowing.
Well, first thing, Ronnie, in the preseason poll, you ready for this? Texas A&M was ranked number 6. Guess what, Ronnie? They didn't win 6 games this year. Right. They went 5-7. They got to be the first ranked team in the top 10 to not win as many games as they're ranking this year. And then Jimbo Fisher yesterday, whining and complaining about they need guidelines and the tampering that's going on and the NIL and there's no rules. And I mean, come on, Jimbo, you might have struck the first match on all of this stuff. So, Jimbo Fisher, he's just getting closer to the end of the plank. He is walking the plank at A&M, and he's getting closer every day.
Well, obviously the win against LSU bought him a bearable offseason from a standpoint of they weren't ready to put the moving signs on his lawn. And that was a big win against a giant rival. LSU having a great year. You kind of spoiled LSU's chance at a bigger bowl. I mean, LSU might have been in the Sugar Bowl or something. You never know what happens. If, they win that game, they go to Atlanta, totally different totally different team. But so you bought yourself some time if you're Jimbo from a standpoint of they weren't going to pay $86 million to fire you right away. That's way too much money. And you were able to kind of go into the offseason thinking, okay, we got some young players. We're moving in the right direction. We just got to keep adding. Well, the problem is that everybody else is doing the same thing, and everybody else is spending those NIL dollars. And LSU got some great news yesterday when Jaden Daniels put out the long let's face it, these guys don't write those things, those letters and all that. They're not writing that. Somebody in the office is writing it. They go, Daniels, you good with this? Yeah, fine. All right. But Jane Daniels made it official. We were wondering a little bit, and we thought he'd come back. But until you hear from the horse's mouth, you never know. And Jane Daniels made it official, and that's great news for LSU for next year.
Well, I'm going to say this, Ronnie. Matt Mock, Matt Flynn, and Joe Burrow. All fifth-year guys, 23, 24 years old. Stetson Bennett's 23, 24 years old at Georgia. He won it last year, might win it this year. Jaden Daniels got over 40 games under his belt. There's no substitute for experience. Any coach, any sport, any level. No substitute for experience. Jaden Daniels got a feel for the SEC now. Him coming back to LSU is the biggest news for that program amongst all the signings, and we're about to find out later this morning about the transfer portal, who all they're getting from that. They didn't get Desmond Ricks. He went to Bama. So what? You don't get everybody. But the Jaden Daniels coming back to LSU is the biggest news for LSU, along with the signing class and then the portal that we'll find out about. Now, does that send Garrett Nussmeier to his laptop to see if the portal, see what's up? I don't know. There'll be some tampering. I'm sure the team out there calling Nussmeier and saying, hey, Daniels is coming back. You come play for us. You can get on the field. I'm sure all that's going on somewhere, somehow, and not just with LSU people, but with players all over the country, especially, you know everything about everybody now because of the internet. You can Google it. You can go to YouTube and subscribe to Sports Shorts Daily and look up your favorite player. I mean, it's all over the place.
If you're the Nussmeier kid, I mean, do you wait till after the bowl game to put your name in the hat, or do you just go ahead and do it now and not play in the bowl game?
I don't know. That's a tough decision. I think if you're committed to LSU, obviously that's one thing, but maybe he's sorting it out, or maybe he's going to weigh some offers. Like, who's going to call and say what they might have or not have. All players want to be on the field. Ronnie, you wanted to pitch when you were playing. I wanted to pitch when I was playing. All players want to be on the field. So that's going to be interesting to see. The timing might be because they got Ricky Collins coming in as quarterback. I don't know. That's a tough call right there.
If I was him, I would transfer right now, Tommy. And the reason is that you got a situation where, you want to get your spot before somebody else does, right? I mean, these other schools aren't going to sit around and wait for you to see if you declare and win and all that. They've got to go get the best quarterback they can as soon as possible. I mean, it's a merry-go-round. And so if you're Nussmeier, you may say, hey, I got to get myself in the portal right now so I can get myself the best situation possible, whether relative to playing time as well as money. I think in his case, it's more about the playing time situation than anything, right? It's about finding that system as well as that team who there's a path to being a starter that's easier and more clear than LSU. The situation with LSU is that, okay, Daniels, we know has one more year, and then it's a straight open battle amongst whoever's left. And we know at LSU, as long as Nussmeier's there's always going to be other stud quarterbacks that you're going to have to compete with. So do you go to an easier path but yet still at a program that means something? So,
because right now Nussmeier's number 2. Daniels coming back. He's number 1. There's no 1 and 1A. There's no quarterback battle. Jaden Daniels is Ronnie. He was 65% of the LSU offense last year. 65% was Jaden Daniels. There ain't many college teams got 65% of their offense coming back. Okay, so that's a huge plus for LSU. If you're an LSU fan, I'm telling you, they're going to take over the SEC West, and Coach Brian Kelly's going to win a national championship in the coming years. I don't know which year because luck will have to be involved, but I really believe that.
With Jaden Daniels, I don't know where he would have been drafted had he decided to go pro.
fifth,
I
sixth round.
personally think the highest he would have gone would have been the third round to somebody if they fell in love with them. But more realistically, he's a mid-round guy. Um, and even with that, even if somebody takes him in the fourth or fifth round, you have to believe and can be an NFL quarterback. But let's just say, split the difference. I think, best case third round, worst case seventh round. So let's split the difference and say he's a fourth, fifth round pick if he would have come out this year. A fourth, fifth round pick, one, is not guaranteed to make the team, although most likely. But two, not guaranteed to be on the active roster. Could easily find himself on a practice squad. So, or his option is go back to LSU, and we will never know how much NIL money he's going to receive. And I think that quite frankly is a little bit of BS. If they want to be above board with all this stuff, and I have no problem, we know exactly how much the offense coordinator makes. We know how much the head coach makes. We know how much the recruiting coordinator makes. We know how much everybody makes. Why is it so secretive as to the end? If you want to be above board and we want this to be clean and be different than when we were, paying people with a handshake or an envelope at a gas station, then go ahead and put it out there. And so that we know this guy's making this guy, you have to report it. You have to keep the records and all that kind of stuff, because we believe, you and I believe, that Jane Daniels is going to probably have a package of at least $1 million worth of NIL this year.
Well, here's the thing, right? Jaden Daniels got some partners at Arizona State that he played with for 3 years. And he got on the phone and said, yeah, man, they gave me $1 million. I'll wait next year for the draft. No different than I would be calling you saying, yeah, Ronnie, they told me they're going to give me this amount and I'm going to wait till next year's draft. That happens, okay? So sooner or later, the numbers may get out. And, I've already read some stuff where they talk about a salary cap for the NCAA. I mean, it's – Ronnie, we said this almost a year ago. It's the Wild Wild West with no sheriff. Okay, there's no rules, there's no guidelines. The little bumpers on the bowling alley lane. Ain't none of that stuff. I mean, it's just wide open. The rich are going to get richer, and the teams with the money, and money doesn't guarantee a championship. We see that at the professional level, and I'm gonna call college football pro football now, professional football. It doesn't guarantee anything. You still got to go win it on the field, and with this NIL and the 12-team playoff coming down the pipe, man, the college football, I don't know if it could surpass the NFL with viewers and attention, but I know for a fact there's more money bet on college football because there's more games. But I wonder if we could figure out the ratio there.
I'm trying fourth round pick.
Look at Stephen Miller agrees with you, Ronnie. 100% that NIL numbers are skewed and inflated to the public. That's what Stephen Miller said.
How much do fourth round NFL draft picks make? Okay, so this was guarantee. Bonuses for a fourth round pick are going to range anywhere from probably somewhere. Guaranteed contract, not bad for you. Look like anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million, $500,000 and $1 million if you're a fourth round draft pick. In Jane Daniels' case, hypothetically, okay, he stays at LSU. I think he's going to make $1 million this year in an NIL total package, minimally, okay, or darn near in that vicinity. So if he gets $1 million to play quarterback at LSU this year, Tommy, he could still be a fourth round draft pick next year, right? So you double dip. You get, if you're a fourth round draft pick and you get another $1 million signing bonus or something like that next year, it's a situation where you can double dip versus getting it one time. You get more experience.
Ronnie has frozen up on us. I think he'll be back with us in a minute. Buffering the wonderful computers. Don't forget meatandpotatoesusa.com. Got college picks posted. Going to have some more posted. Going to have some NFL posted on tomorrow for you. Big NFL card tomorrow at meatandpotatoesusa.com. And, of course, you can go to the Barstool Sportsbook at the LeBares Hotel and Casino in Baton Rouge. Place your bets on anything. College football, college basketball, NBA, pro football, you name it. At the Barstool Sportsbook, you can place your bets. In fact, we'll be out at the LeBares Casino and Hotel tomorrow morning for Sports Shorts Radio. 10 a.m. until 12 noon. We'll be out there taking care of things for you. Sports Shorts Radio, 10 a.m. to 12 noon tomorrow. Join us, Hunter McCann, Derek Beckwith, Joel Davis, Ronnie Rance, myself. We'll have a fun Christmas Eve radio show from the Barstool Sportsbook. Come on out there and hang around with us. Talked to a guy last night who's going to come out there and hang around with us tomorrow out there at the casino. Also, don't forget Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Not too late to get a gift card or get a gift basket. You can get all of that at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood here on Jefferson Highway.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
All
I
right.
kind of told them about radio tomorrow and Tremonti's and all that good stuff. So go ahead.
Well, let's talk about tomorrow. Let's talk about the Saints for a minute. We're excited because tomorrow from 10 to noon, when we're done with the radio, bam, we could go right into watching the Saints game over at Barstool Sportsbook and have a great lunch over at LeBaire. So if you want to find a place to come watch the Saints game, TK and I will be there out at Barstool Sportsbook, so come join us. But the Saints find themselves a 3-point dog on the road. It's going to be freezing cold conditions, 0 temperatures, all that, like a big blizzard in the north and everything. 32, over under 32. Even with the over under of 32, Tommy, I feel like I almost should take the under still. I know that's hard to do, but I feel like I probably should.
Well, last night, 84% of the people bet the under, and it hit. And then when you look at the Cleveland thing, 32 over and under, I mean, 17-10, you win. I mean, right. The under. So that's something to look at. And then you ain't got to worry about who wins the game. You just hope they stay off the scoreboard.
I mean, the Saints have had a lot of injuries, particularly now on the offensive line. Their center's out. They struggle on offense already. Now you're on the road in blizzard conditions outside. The Browns aren't very good on offense either. I mean, I think this is a survive and advance game as much as it. I mean, you take the under on 32. I mean, you're.
Hey, Ronnie popped out of there again on us. Ronnie have, as Craig said, the internet slowing down a little bit. We'll see if we can get Ronnie back on here in a second. Also, don't forget about my podcast, Talking Sports with TK. I got the Coon-Ass and the Rednecks picks were posted yesterday. Anthony Gallo and myself. Anthony hit Jacksonville last night. MeatandPotatoesUSA.com. Stephen Miller hit Air Force last night. I've got some picks posted there as well at Talking Sports with TK as we get Ronnie back in here. All right, well, TK, Craig made the point, Ronnie. Everybody's home from work and the internet's bogging down.
Yeah, out here in Denham Springs, maybe we get ours a little. We're like second fiddle to Baton Rouge. Maybe our internet's a little bit slower. I don't know, but it is what it is. If I drop out again, TK, just play the commercial for the Hall of Fame and all that. But
I filled it up with some Talking Sports with TK and a Merry Christmas banner and all that good. See, look, here we go, people. Here we go. Merry Christmas from Sports Shorts Daily. There you go.
Did you do all your shopping, by the way? You got a bunch of grandkids to shop for. Did you get them?
Ronnie, you ready for this? I got 3 grandsons, 12, 10, and 8. My granddaughter's 5 months old. But I asked the 3 boys, what do you want Pops to give you for Christmas? You know what their answer was? Cash. Cash.
All 3?
I mean, all 3 of them, and they weren't together. I asked them separately. Every one of them said cash. I don't know what I could give them where their house already looks like Toys R Us. I don't know what I could give them where they go, oh, wow, Pops, what a great gift. So they each getting a $100 bill.
Yeah. What's funny is, what kids love and grown-ups love it. It's the ultimate go-to gift when you don't know what to get somebody. Scratch off lottery tickets.
Okay.
Everybody loves them. If it's a kid, they got the coin, the little, get the penny out and you scratching them off, and they everybody loves it of all ages.
Have to do that. I'm gonna have to mix some of those in.
Yeah, that's always
mix some of those in. I'll start them off gambling, then they can learn how to get to the Meat and Potatoes USA website.
Yeah, we can get them sponsored by LeBaires if you start them off in a good way. But anyway, well, listen, we're having some internet issues, so let's get out of here. But before we do so, I want to tell you real quick. I want to thank everybody. We actually sold out, Tommy, all of our tables for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame fight night that we're doing, a big fundraiser for the Hall of Fame on Friday the 13th of January. But we still have reserve tickets and general admission tickets to the event. It is going to be a night to remember. We've got 7 pro championship wrestling events, followed by a celebrity boxing match between Casey the Rougarou McKenzie and Ryan the Pod Piper Party in Maranto. It's going to be a great event. Friday night is fun for all the families, so bring the kids out. They're going to love what we're going to have the Rougarou mascot out there. We're going to have lots of Louisiana Sports Hall of Famers. I know Will Clark is scheduled to attend and do some stuff with us. We'll have a bunch of other celebrities as well. So check it out. Go to lasportshall.com to get your tickets. That's lasportshall.com. We hope to see you on Friday the 13th.
All right, that's great news. I've seen McKenzie and Maranto. They putting stuff out on social media. The excitement is building. No, but Ronnie, I know you and I both want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. We appreciate all the people that like and share this video and make comments. Craig and Carl and Chance and Byron, all the people, Rachel, that do all of that stuff. We've had a good year for Sports Shorts Daily, and we're looking for bigger and better things next year. So we appreciate everybody out there. Tell some folks about it. Let's blow this thing up next year.
Have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Thanks to Tremonti's and, of course, LeBear's Casino. We will see you on Tuesday morning. We'll be back on the 27th. Tuesday morning. Don't forget, you can check us out tomorrow morning on the radio from 10 to noon. And stop by if you want and have lunch with us. Watch the Saints game. We'll be at the Barstool Sportsbook at LeBear's Casino. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend.